Hey, welcome back to Growth Groups. So excited to be together again. Feels like it's been forever since we've been back in person in Growth Groups. And it's crazy. We only have 2 weeks left in Growth Groups, tonight and next week, before we start to wind down the school year. So tonight we're talking through John 20, and next week we finish the Gospel of John with John 21. So please make sure that your growth group leaders know how much you are thankful for them. They are the real heroes of youth group. Well, I guess Jesus is the hero, right? But they're like the next level heroes of youth group, because we couldn't have done anything that we've been doing this year in youth group without your growth group leaders. So please give them a huge round of applause. Make sure they know how much you love them and how thankful you are for them. And so we got 2 weeks of growth groups, and then Mother's Day, no youth group on Mother's Day. Make sure you love your moms. And then we have our grad night the next Sunday. So this is not just for our grads, but for everyone to come and to celebrate and to honor our graduates together. And then the following week after that, we're wrapping things up with a growth group party. So in your growth groups, you can have a party. Food is allowed so long as it's prepared ahead of time before you come. And this is just the time to close out the school year before the summer and have fun together. So celebrate this year, talk about your summer, have some prayer time together, and that's that. We're going to have some fun activities over the course of the summer. We're going to go to Six Flags. We're going to plan some scavenger hunts. We're going to do some fun things over the course of the summer. So make sure that you follow the youth group on Instagram, and that your parents get the church emails and all those good things. Okay. So we have the joke of the week. Are you ready for this? I know you've been waiting for it. Here it is. Did you hear about the latest conspiracy theory? Yeah, it turns out all of our appliances have been spying on us and sending the info in and selling that for profit. It turns out our vacuums have been digging up dirt on us for years. Right? Yeah. Okay. All right. So tonight we're going on John 20. So this is the second to last chapter, the Gospel of John. And it starts off with Easter, right? With the resurrection of Jesus and the empty tomb. And so Jesus has risen. Jesus meets Mary at the tomb. Mary doesn't recognize it's him at first, and then eventually realizes, oh my gosh, like it's Jesus. And then she goes, tells everyone. The disciples don't believe her. This is crazy, right? So in verse 19, talks about how it was the evening of the first day of the week. The disciples were gathered together. The doors were locked, right? Because they feared the Jews. And Jesus came and stood among them, and he said to them, peace be with you. And so Mary had already told the disciples, I have seen the Lord, right? She's already told them that. And here they are, terrified, right? Absolutely terrified of the Jews, that they're going to get in trouble, they're going to get arrested, that they're going to get killed like Jesus was. And Jesus all of a sudden shows up and says, peace be with you. And the crazy thing is, that Thomas, the Apostle Thomas, wasn't with them. And so Thomas doubts, right? This is why he's often called Doubting Thomas, because he doubts. He says, I'm not going to believe until if I don't see the mark of the nails in his hands, put my finger into the mark of the nails and my hand into his side, I will never believe. Do you know people like that? Right? I know people like that. Sometimes I am that person. And I am so thankful that Thomas gives voice to the inner doubts and questions that sometimes I have. And yet when Jesus appeared later to the disciples and Thomas was with them, Jesus doesn't go, Thomas, I saw your doubt, unacceptable, you're fired, right? Instead, Jesus comes to him and says, put your finger here and look at my hands. Reach out your hand, put it into my side. Don't be faithless, but believe, right? And I love Thomas's response. He says, my Lord and my God. And so my question for you is, as we've talked through the Gospel of John this year, as we've talked about this theme and this teaching about who is Jesus. Do you really believe that Jesus actually is God, that Jesus really is the only Savior? To be honest about your questions, about your doubts even, and talk about them with someone. You don't have to hide those questions. Thomas didn't. That's in the Bible. Thomas was one of Jesus's bros. And he said, I'm not going to believe it until I see it and until I touch it. And Jesus said, here I am, right? Jesus didn't like lecture him or judge him or hate him or reject him. Instead, Jesus said, here I am. And Jesus still takes the same posture with those who doubt today. And so my prayer for you is that your conversations about the resurrection of Christ would be important and would be honest and would be respectful. And so as you discuss things in your groups this week and next week, as we wrap up the John series, I want to encourage you to be honest with each other, be respectful to each other, to your leaders, as you discuss these matters that are at the bedrock foundation of what it means to be a Christian and what it means to believe. So I'm under no assumptions that everyone in our groups, even if you were like born in the church, I'm under no assumptions that you are all Christians. That this is a time for you guys to really chew on and consider and weigh what do you really believe about Jesus, to have those conversations in your groups. Maybe have those conversations at home with your parents when you get home and they ask what happened in youth group tonight. And you normally say, oh, nothing. Have this conversation with them, right? Be honest, because chances are you are not the only person who has had these doubts or who still has these doubts. And so my prayer for you is that in time and over the course of conversations, that you too, like Thomas, would say, my Lord and my God. Have a great night. Enjoy your conversations.